How you doing? My name is Kno'Bodie. That's K-N-O''BODIE. Most interesting thing about being homeless is the people. Definitely the people. Before being homeless, there is stereotypes. Of course, before being homeless or not being homeless, we see homeless people and we have different ideas and what type of people they are, what they may have been through. But in essence, like, we really just don't know. People end up on the street by means that they have no control over. I learned that homeless people were just real people. Hearing that my story is so interesting, I never saw it that way, because talking to all the homeless people in the community, you hear some really interesting stories, how they ended up homeless. Before then, some of them succeeded, like myself, and got off of the street, was able to overcome that phase in their life. Some of them got content and are still there, you know, God bless their souls. Embarking upon this whole musical journey, I definitely have realized my purpose in life.
Hi, I'm Michelle Lynn of VIP Studios, and you're about to watch an excerpt from The Heart of Job. Most of us have trying times, and these young artists are about to share their Job stories.
I chose the alias Kno'Bodie mainly for just being humble. Humble. When I was homeless, there was a point I took like a little vow of oath, all right? And I just observed the homeless community around me. And all the people, I saw that they ran by aliases because they didn't want anybody to know their real name. So I was like, well, before I started even talking to anybody, what am I gonna call myself? Because obviously they're gonna ask me what my name is. So me being raised how I am, spiritual and whatnot, I went as low as I come. I thought humbly. I was like, it don't go any lower than Kno'Bodie. And the name itself, Kno'Bodie, has taught me a lot. It turns a lot of heads. Everyone remembers it, you know. Nobody has ever ran into an artist calling themselves Kno'Bodie. I was playing guitar, I learned that on the street, and the Kno'Bodie just stuck as a stage name. Oh, I am somebody. Let's believe I know that. I know that. I am somebody. Tell that to yourself. Creatively speaking, I draw, I'm a graphic designer, I skateboard, I cook, love cooking, and of course I do music, I rap, I sing, I do poetry, as well as compose beats. I got into music because it was another creative outlet for me to express myself.
I'm ready when y'all are.
Let's get it. I'll tell you guys a little story from day one.
I'll go.
Look, diabolical, me against a lot of who? They don't know I'm trying to see it like the Father do. I'm not walking in my mommy and my father's shoes. I'm picking up where they left off like a follow through. I don't spit saliva, spit a lot of fluid. Rapper spit fire, I'm in Hawaii spitting lava too. In person I'm too comical. Hood gifted, equipped, but with the logical. Wouldn't have guessed, I dropped out of school. Hit the streets, but I got improved. Man, when I got off, I went right into it. Found the beat, started writing to it. The sound was sweet, I was writing music. But underneath, I was kind of stupid and I had to step out. Find a way to learn what it was I needed to learn. In retrospect, life can be easy. Pride before demo, intern, lesson learned. Please believe, over time, pressure makes diamonds out of coal. Now that's so and much more when you got a heart of gold. I understand a lot, but I don't know it all. See, I know you don't learn nothing unless you get involved with it. So I start communing with other artists. Pop string, loose chords was the start of it. Now it's pen strokes big enough to make a mark with it. I never thought I'd be as hard as this. Ain't it a shame how people think life is a game, no cartridges? I really tell you what starving is. I really take it where the farthest is. I really show you what the largest is. Like we really started from the bottom and made all of this. Woo!
This man's ready. This man's ready.
Guy. Go. My struggle onto being an artist has been being 100% true to myself despite everyone else trying to push me to and fro in whatever pen they think my music should go. I write it, I record it, perform it, I produce beats for other people, I write songs for other people. And I sing and I rap. Somebody! There's a point in time in my life where I was homeless, living in the streets of Venice Beach. In that time, I fell in love with music, and I decided to pursue it, and it in turn delivered me and led me to greater endeavors.
Days go by, and it feel like I'm living in memories. Days go by, and it feel like I'm living in memories.
So, on the beach, I decided to pick up a guitar. There was a lady, she had a canopy on the boardwalk and was offering to just teach people guitars. She had a canopy hanging guitars and all types of instruments, right? So one day I decided to go pick up the guitar. Eventually, when I got off of the street, I was in Job Corps, downtown Los Angeles. I met a lot of poets. And from there, they encouraged me to pursue more of my poetry and my spoken word and my rap, which I believe is rhythm and poetry. Mind you, I was playing my guitar and I was singing on the beach, but when I got connected to the poets, I got more induced in making hip hop. So I'm rapping more, start honing in on my style and my skill. PC came into LA on a journey of his own. He was teaching a crash course class of music production. 2 years prior, I had just got into learning how to make beats. So while I was in Job Corps, I learned that there was going to be a new music program. I was pretty popular already at Job Corps for being a musician, so of course I was the first one to sign up. I met PC, we connected, and from there we just grew. 3 years later, I'm standing right here now. Last year I released the album, it was called Kno'Bodie. It was my first project.
Moments change and rearrange. Do you realize things will never be the same? No, 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 no. Days go by, and it feel like I'm living in memories.
PC taught me a whole lot prior to the album, releasing, developed me. Long hours of just re-recording and writing and rehearsing. Oh my Lord. But in all of the struggle, I stand before right now in front of this camera, a lot more temperate of a person and as an artist, a lot more confident in my artistry. I look forward in all of the diverse music that I make now, whether it be rapping, whether it be singing, whether it be me doing anything for that matter, musically or artistically, I hope to impact people positively. I want them to see someone who's well-rounded despite all of the struggles that I've been through. I don't have a grudge toward the world. In fact, I love the world. I want to do everything that I can within my power in God's hands. I've learned a whole lot. I'm very spiritual, son of a pastor, son of a preacher.
Thankfully, I was fortunate enough to have my father in my life, you know. Thank God. The same guy like reflection, looking at me with the same eyes, taught me how to aim high. He said, aim for the stars, nothing's impossible. And if you think the sky's the limit, that shit is illogical. Aside from quotes, think he played the perfect father role. Son, go farther than I can go. Rain on my parade when I thought that I can float. But to show how cold this world would be when I forgot my coat. And it's funny, a lot of things he taught I never thought I quoted. Always on my back, made it hard to lose focus. Notice how things changed as I began to get older. You look at me strange like I didn't already told him right from wrong wasn't perfect. He did his best to show me I'm a young man now. Too bad he ain't around to know me, no lie. Feeling lonely, other than being pop, so Philly was my closest homie. He was always there for me. And no, he ain't dead, instead just got the wrong idea about me in his head. But it's cool, I'ma show him how the days go by, and it feel like I'm living in memories.
It was different, even just the fact of just having my dad in my life, considering right here in South Central LA, most brothers my age ain't come up with their pops. I don't know my biological mother. My father was in my life because his father wasn't in his life. Life in general, the most interesting thing is connecting and learning more about the Creator and whatever His purpose is for myself and in this entire universe. While I was on the street, there was a friend of mine who helped me get a cell phone, and ironically at that same time I got on Facebook and I found out that my stepmother, who I hadn't seen for 7 years, and her daughter, my stepsister, Saida, they were both looking for me apparently or whatever. So I saw a message just saying, call me soon. So the irony that my friend had just got me a phone, you know, I was like, all right, you know, there's got to be a blessing or something within this. So I just talked to him. Mind you, it's been 7 years since I seen this woman. So finally talked to her. It was a nice conversation. She had offered me to move in with her, come off the street. And to be honest, I told her no at first. I didn't want to move in. At that time, me and my pops he was homeless with me. We were both homeless. And midway, we had separated. So I was homeless for a year. The ending half of that year, I was just by myself. So furthermore, when my mom had finally connected to me and she wanted to get me off the street and move in, I told her no because I felt guilty just leaving the street knowing my dad was still going to be on. We wasn't talking anymore, but he was still on the street. He was still on the beach on the other side of it. Eventually, though, I can say I was influenced and guided to make the right decision. I moved in with her Thanksgiving Day, 2011, the day before I got my first ID. I don't know my biological mother. She went out of my life, disappeared at age 4. So my stepmother, she's the only woman really I call mother, or I can see as mother. Even though there's been times we had our ups and downs, she's been in and out of my life, but really only woman I consider as my mother. My favorite thing that I've learned from the struggle of life is that there's always hope. There's always a positive outlook. You just gotta look for it. You gotta see it, you gotta believe. Faith is something I'm really big on. I believe that anything and everything is possible if you believe in it. Don't overthink it. If you're overthinking it, I mean, you already know the right reason, you just don't want to receive it. We get so consumed in our emotions and whatnot, and that overrides our mental capacity to accept things as they are in life, when they're supposed to be as they are. Music has shown me how to express myself comfortably. I've always been artistic. Music has shown me about people. Music has shown me structure, discipline, and creativity, and it's brought me closer to the Most High. My life is God, and He showed me a whole lot in this whole walk. It's been 7 years now. 7 years. It's my birthday right now. It's turned 23. You feel me? 20 years. I've had my dreads for 7 years. Started them when I started this musical journey. So this is even a testimony of my patience. I kept them, I ain't cut them, didn't dye them, I just kept them as they were. Next year, PC gonna be releasing Heart of Job. I got a few tracks on there, a few verses, and a few beats that I cooked up on there. It's all been fun. I can look back on my life and say that I love every bit of it. I wouldn't change anything. I love my life, I love the people I'm around, I love the energy, and I love the idea of the impact I'm going to be able to leave on this world before I make my exit. My name is KnoBodie. That's KNO''BODIE. Check me out on Instagram. Find any hashtag, I don't know how to rap. That's IDK, how, #2, rap. So I don't know how to rap. But you can find me on heartofjob.com. You can check out my website, knobodie.com. Once again, that's KNOBODIE.com.